Hi. Why does this movie take me back?
It was a movie.
It reminded me of the first time I bought one of those creature monster truck toys that were big in the 80s.
It had characters and a plot, and some things happened.
Honestly, honestly, I was never, really that annoyed with this movie.
No, I wasn't annoyed either. It was just sort of it was exactly what I expected, is what it was.
It is not better or worse than this kind of movie. That is what I can say about this film. It is this kind of movie.
It's a movie that I know I'm going to forget immediately.
Well, yeah, I was kind of drifting in and out a bit as I was watching it, but there's a lot of things that this movie is like. It's a movie about a teen. I'll get to that in a second.
Oh my god.
Who, he works in a junkyard, he befriends a creature, and there's people after them, and the creature just wants to get back to his family. Look, this kind of movie's been getting made for 30 or 40 years. This is one of them. It's not worse than a bad movie like that, but it's not on the better end of the spectrum of it. It just does all of the things that those movies do.
They got a free Creech, Free Willy.
Yeah. if you're someone who was like, man, I wish there were still more movies like Herbie Fully Loaded. This movie, Thomas Lennon is in this, and he wrote Herbie Fully Loaded.
Furby?
Furby.
Fully Loaded.
Fully Loaded.
Oh, holy shit, when's the Furby movie coming? Long overdue.
Right after the Emoji Movie.
Shit. I got a question. Was Big Red a sponsor for Monster Trucks?
Or Twizzlers, or a lot of other things.
Well, Big Red was the weirdest one to me, because I don't even see Big Red in the store hardly anymore. And then there's just giant Big Red vending machine. He's drinking Big Red at one point. I'm like, when he first was drinking it, I was like, that's an odd choice. Who picks Big Red?
That's how this movie got the $120 million budget that it has.
I guess.
Really, Paramount? I know you let, the movie developer's 4-year-old come up with a story for this, but $100 and some million, that's a little much.
I was looking forward to this movie, even though it was exactly what I expected. I'm glad that it was made, because I appreciate the dedication to the pun.
Yeah.
Monster trucks. They're monsters in trucks. Ta-da! There's your movie.
It gives you that. I'm sure the toys of this movie are fun.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a kid, I would probably enjoy it. And I think, other kids would probably enjoy this movie. So, I mean, I didn't find anything offensively bad about it.
No.
Unmemorable in some aspects, but...
I mean, there's how the movie is made, and a lot of things in it just sort of reminded me of a January version of Pete's Dragon, which I saw last year, which was actually really good. This is a lesser version of that, but it doesn't do anything. There was never a moment in it where I felt just personally insulted, watching a Transformers movie, which this movie also has a lot in common with.
Definitely. They're during the chase. I was thinking exactly of Transformers.
Yeah, the shit in the junkyard and all of that stuff. Right, it's like Transformers, except Transformers has an actual 4-year-old directing it. This movie surprisingly has a large cast.
Yeah, the whole time I was thinking, what is Rob Lowe doing there? And he didn't seem to know either.
No.
What is Danny Glover doing there? Why is he there?
Danny Glover, Frank Whaley, Holt McCallany, he's the bad guy. Amy Ryan is in this, Barry Pepper. Wow.
But the two leads were not actors that I recognized, but they seem to be vaguely look like people you might recognize. Because I'm like,
yeah.
They kind of look like someone I might know, but they're not.
Lucas Till is MacGyver on the new MacGyver series.
I haven't seen new MacGyver.
I wasn't sure. Like, I kind of took a gamble on that. I'm like, maybe Allison has seen New MacGyver.
It's a good guess, but I haven't actually seen New MacGyver.
He's Havoc in... I think he is. I think he's Havoc in X-Men. And the girl I couldn't quite place. But here's the thing. This is a movie that has monsters and trucks, and they're doing somersaults, leaps off buildings, climbing up buildings like they're the Batmobile and the Joel Schumacher versions. And the most unbelievable thing about this is that our two leads are high school students.
Oh my god. When they showed him on the bus, surrounded by children much younger than him, I was like,
I was a little
he held
worried.
back for a while?
I was thinking something much more sinister was happening in that scene. Like, well, it's a good thing his mom's going out with a cop because this dude is gonna be on some kind of watch list for hanging out on buses all the time.
There's a bomb on the bus. He's got them held hostage. They can't go under so fast, otherwise the bus is gonna explode. And monsters in it.
Watching Lucas Till play this part is like watching, like, if like Elliot in E.T. was played by Henry Thomas now. That's what it's like. And look, I mean, yeah, every movie has like a fucking 20-year-old playing a high school student. That's extremely fucking common. Holy shit. This is beyond that. When they're walking around with the students, they look like the teachers.
Yeah.
They are significantly older than all the extras that are walking around them that are age appropriate. She is dressed like she's just like a straight up substitute teacher at this school. And she's tutoring him. And again, they both look like they're about 5 years younger than me. I don't need to be playing a fucking high school student in a movie.
And the thing is, they didn't need to be high school students.
No!
None of the settings involved, like, occasionally they are in a classroom in the beginning, but you could easily set it in a college and it would be exactly the same.
Yeah, make them college students. Or them being, like you just said, them being students factors into nothing. You could completely, you could just make it to where he just works in a junkyard.
Yeah, honestly, you really could. Like, and I don't know, maybe she needs work on her car done or something, and that's how they get involved. It's honestly kind of contrived how they get her involved with that whole plot.
Well, I just happened to walk to the junkyard at 2 in the morning to give you these flashcards that I wrote. Get in the truck!
You know, I love, like, when you describe this movie, like, it hits all the cliches, so it sounds more awesome than it is, because I do love the idea of it. You know, monsters in trucks. These kids gotta save these monsters from these evil oil drillers. Rob Lowe is so evil. He's gonna kill these monsters. And, you know, I don't understand. Half of these movies, it doesn't make sense anyway. When they have like this vendetta against, like, oh, that whale, I hate that whale.
Yeah.
You know, but best line of Free Willy, I hate that whale. But they have, you know, they have these monsters caught, and Rob Lowe's like eating a Twizzler, like, you know, we should just poison them and kill them so we can keep drilling. He's found out they're hive mind intelligent undiscovered creatures. You could make so much more money just exploiting these animals. But he's like, nah, put them in the just poison where they live and kill them. We gotta get that oil. What?
Yeah, why? Like, this is the kind of movie that, like, your grandma would get you because she knows you like the movie Explorers. You know, like that kind of movie. Like, one that's not...
Timmy loves trucks. I'm gonna get a movie with trucks in it.
You like E.T.? Here's Mac and Me. Okay, this movie's a little better than that, but...
Yeah, I'll give him that. Substitute Coke for Big Red, though.
Yeah.
If they had a dance-off in a McDonald's, I would highly recommend this movie.
The casting is so weird in this because...
I genuinely laughed when Danny Glover is like, hey, I'm back in this movie again.
An hour later.
Yeah, and I forgot he was in it, honestly, until he showed up again. I was like, oh yeah. And then, like, he takes it very well that there's these monsters. And then when they're leaving, he's like, yeah, go get them.
He has it way better off than poor Amy Ryan does in this, who is Lucas Till's mom, who's in it one scene at the beginning when he's like, I wish Dad were still here. And she's like, yeah, well, you know, just, you know, have fun at school, and then leaves and is not in the movie again until the final montage at the end of the film, where she's just standing with Barry Pepper waving at the truck going by. There are no scenes where Amy Ryan reacts to anything that goes on in the movie.
For all she knows, none of it happened.
For all she knows, there were no story with the creatures in the trucks, and so she's just waving at him driving by in his new truck. She might not have no idea about all this shit that happened.
Can I just say, there is no consequences to anything in this movie. Even before any of the wildly ludicrous shit happens with the security team and the monsters in the trucks and the big chase and all that, when Creech is first learning how to drive the truck, he straight up just goes through a car lot with people in it, driving over it with our lead in the front seat. Yeah. People see them and they're just like, I guess they're gone. I guess there's no consequences.
This movie does that all the time with, like, rampant destruction, just randomly crashing into, like, mail trucks and shit.
Driving on roofs. No one else notices this?
How about the fact that I'm pretty sure so many people are murdered in the climax of this film?
So many people. At first, it seems like they're trying to be like, maybe they survived. We're not going to get into it. But then there's things like when they overturn that truck of poison, it just flattens the top of it. I'm like, well, that driver's dead.
Or, like, when Barry Pepper is driving this giant fucking thing that is the size of the canyon he's driving it through, and he mows it past trucks that have people jumping out of it.
Yeah.
There is no alternative to that scenario other than he ran those people over and just completely flattened them, because he moves past them, but he is as wide as the canyon that they're in.
Yeah.
He just, those poor henchmen. And then poor Holt McCallany, who's the bad guy, who's like, he's the bad guy from, he's pretty much the bad guy from Short Circuit. Like, honestly, yeah, that really is the kind of movie this is. It's Short Circuit if number 5 like hanging out in trucks, which he kind of did a little bit, but like, he seems to he crashes into what I think is like
poison.
Yeah, toxic waste, or like it looks like he's melting.
Yeah, it pours onto him. He's like, no, and then you never see him again. Like, well, he's dead.
Laura leaned over to me like, did he just melt? It cuts back and he's like just a wet child, like the end of Jason Takes Manhattan.
Well, that just makes no sense.
Makes just as much sense as most of the other goddamn things in this
How badly
fucking thing.
did that guy need his job? He's just determined to murder these kids, these animals. Nothing stands in his way.
Determined to go after these creatures with nothing but a cattle prod. That was kind of funny. I genuinely laughed in the part where the monsters are doing all these flips in the air, and then they land on the ground, and Lucas Till and the girl are like, yeah! And it cuts to Thomas Lennon, who just vomits everywhere. I honestly that was like the one like genuinely big laugh the movie got out of me, other than like smirking because like that guy's dead. And other weird bits of casting too, like how the fact that the like rich kid bully
that amounts to nothing. I thought that was gonna come to something and it didn't.
No, it didn't. But like the casting in that looks like if you cast Fred Savage to bully Patrick Swayze. There's nothing legit about that at all.
Going back to that security guy though, there's parts in it too that make no sense. Like, he's just chasing the kid around the town in the truck, and rampant destruction.
Yeah.
And there's a chase. The sheriff's there too, which is our lead stepdad, I guess. And what was the lead character's name again? You just said Lucas Till's the actor?
He's the actor.
Okay. Lucas Till.
Yeah.
I already forgot his name.
Creech's owner.
Creech's owner. Anyway, he's chasing them around, and then the sheriff's involved too. And then they get stopped by a train, and the sheriff's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Chasing my stepson around and like doing all this shit around the town?" And he's just like, hey, don't forget, like, we employ you guys too, so when the next re-election comes, da-da-da-da-da. So basically, he just can act like the police and bully this kid, and no one has anything to say about this. Or when they're on the lot with his biological father, and then they're just getting ready to, like, beat up and take the kid in just front of everyone.
Another piece of rampant destruction where the truck just drives through Frank Whaley's trailer.
They did not do a good job of establishing that he was a deadbeat dad until he was gonna, like, give him up to just get beaten up, I guess.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, when they were talking about the accident, I completely spaced, and I didn't know they were talking about the oil drilling thing from the beginning, so I thought maybe there was some, like, traumatic thing that happens where his character, like, you know, his dad was kind of off and maybe people thought he was crazy and they were gonna make amends or something. But then he was like, he was drinking, and I'm like, oh, alcohol equals bad, I guess. And then he's like, I'm gonna make some chicken wings. By the way, you're going with this guy. Security.
I couldn't tell either if he was, like, a deadbeat dad at first or not, because he seems to just live like a block away from them. So I'm like, or if, like, he and the mom just simply split up.
The ADR said, like, Dad, what's he doing here? Which implied he had been gone for some time.
Yeah.
Which was really awkward lines. Like, Dad? As if he's gonna talk to the news.
The worst special effect in this movie was, speaking of ADR, is when they were Holt McCallany and Barry Pepper are standing in front of that train going by, which is an obvious fake train going by them. And because there's not actually a train there going by them, they're talking in a voice level to where, like, if this was actually happening, you would be like,
what?
Yeah. I say we go, I gotta get past this train and get the monster. And the creatures in it were fine. They were, like, clearly, like, manufactured cute. Like,
there are some things that don't make sense to me about them. They were supposed to be living underground this whole time?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have eyes. They wouldn't need them if they were just living underground. I would think. Unless they like surfaced every once in a while.
Their cave does lead to the surface, I guess.
So I guess no one just ever discovered them. I don't know.
I don't know. They're weird. There's
things about them where I'm like, I wish they'd humanized them a little less, because like it's fine to do, like, some cutesy things, like they can learn about, like, waving, or, you know, like, humans do this equals this, that's fine. But, like, there are things, like, when they're just, like, kind of smiling and acting like people, where it's like, that's a little too far-fetched for me, I mean, monster trucks.
They smile, they laugh, they look like adorable old men, like cartoon, like, old people.
When he has that line, Lucas Till, where he's just like, oh, big squish face or whatever, where I'm like, that's a bad line. Like, that's just like, because we know they're gonna be squishy and kids are gonna think like, big squish face.
Like, they're so manufactured cute, and luckily they don't give them any annoying lines or anything like that, so it is impossible to hate them, because then if you were to want bad things to happen to them, you're just a sociopath watching this movie.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's cute things about them, like how they're bioluminescent, so they, like, glow when they're in the water, and that looks really pretty.
Well, here's what that looked like. That effect looked like someone shined a black light on them, and sometime in their sleep, Lucas Till jacked it all over them.
Well, now that's what I think of.
Now, every time you watch this movie.
Every time.
Every
time I watch this movie, which I surely will, not immediately forget that I saw it by tomorrow.
With Phelan.
I liked fucking Rob Lowe gets his comeuppance at the end, sort of, just during the montage at the end. And you think something's gonna happen, like he's gonna be like, oh, I'll sue you, you can't take me down. And he just goes like, and then leaves.
He gets arrested, and I'm sort of like, I know he's the bad guy, but I don't know why he's getting arrested.
What are you gonna prove?
Right.
I guess, well, okay, the scientist guy has lots of dirt on him about the illegal activity. So even if you don't talk about, like, the massively public stuff that was going on, he could at least be like, okay, he was, like, lying about this stuff and all these things over the years. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like, kind of a he said kind of thing, whereas, like, If Lucas Till is getting off scot-free for the destruction he's caused to half the town, like, it seems like even a shit lawyer would be able to get Rob Lowe off on all of this.
We'll save it for the sequel.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
I don't know if this movie's gonna make its money back.
No. And when Rob Lowe's like looking through her phone, like, ha ha ha, you like cats, huh? Ooh, pictures of the monster, delete, delete, delete. Ha ha ha. And they're like, oh, you think getting the pictures gonna do anything? I was expecting them to be like, because we have the cloud.
Yeah.
It's all saved. We put it on Twitter already.
Line that the producer's 4-year-old wrote. Yeah, that's enough. If you, yeah, like, okay, if you need proof that this movie was, like, co-greenlit because of input from a 4-year-old, there are 2 scenes in this movie where grown-ass people are standing behind the wheel of a car just going, me, brr, like they're on a fucking race car bed. Shit. So I gotta save a little battery on here for the bye-bye man. Any final thoughts about Monster Trucks?
The trailer represents it exactly. If you've seen one of these movies, you've seen all of them, and you've seen this. So use that as your judgment. I don't really recommend it, but I don't unrecommend it either. So
I can't in good conscience recommend seeing this in the theater. There was really nothing that really captivated me about this movie. It's a movie that's slightly more fun to talk about than it is to watch. But there's nothing offensively bad about it. I wasn't like just hating my life watching this thing. I wasn't at all. Like, in due time, I'm going to forget that I even saw this. But since there's way better movies you could be watching with your kids, even at home. But if this is on Netflix and the kid's like, I want to see the movie with the monster in the truck, it's not a terrible film. Like, there are way worse options you could settle on. So this could function fine in a scenario like that. Other than that, this movie ain't making its money back. It's $100+ million budget. So let's see how much better the Bye Bye Man is.
Ooh, it's the Bye Bye Man. Turn the light off.
See it.